Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Monster Review, where we take a look at tech tips, and how-to videos. Today, we're going to do a how-to video. So, newer cars, if you were out on the market recently and you were looking at newer cars, you know that the premium models usually come with some sort of Qi charger, wireless charger for your mobile devices. However, with that feature comes a hefty price, and it's usually only on the premium models. What if you had an older car and you wanted wireless charging? How would you go about doing that? And to demonstrate and show you how to, I am going to be installing a Qi wireless charger in this 2009 Ford Focus. Now, first thing, before you buy anything, what you want to do is you want to scope out your vehicle and find the right place. You want to find the ideal place for your Qi charger. And as you can see, I have the perfect place for a mobile phone right underneath my console. So if we just plug this up here, we have a perfect place to put our mobile phone and have it charge. So we already have the wireless Qi charger. We went ahead and ordered it on Amazon. This is the whole module, the whole charging pad. All we need is basically the coil that's inside this pad. And the two other accessories that we need is a inline fuse to protect, our equipment, and a 12-volt USB plug. So before we jump into the installation, we do have to prep. And the first thing we are going to prep is our 12-volt USB plug and our inline fuse. Basically, what we want to do is cut this 12-volt plug, solder in our inline fuse, so we can attach this to a 12-volt wire in our car. So let's do it. I like to keep these things, so instead of dismantling it, I'll just cut it, like right about here. Get my wire stripper right here. Now, if you do a lot of electrical work, this is by far the most handy wire stripper, the best wire stripper I've used. I love this thing. Check it out. Check out how easy it is to strip a wire. Bam, and you're done. Whoops, need it a little bit longer? No problem. Put it back in and try again. Bam, there we go. Alright, now I'm just gonna get the red wire here. Strip it. And we're gonna do the same thing with our inline fuse. Pop your shrink tube on. Move it out the way. And then go ahead and connect your two wires. Now, it doesn't matter how you connect these wires. Use whatever method you're comfortable with. Okay, we're just going to strip back the ground wire and just give it a light tug to make sure it's connected correctly. This part is completely optional, but if you have a 12-volt battery, you can go ahead and you can just plug it up and see if it works. And it works. If you do a lot of electrical car work, 12-volt battery is a really handy tool to have. Just gonna go ahead and dismantle. There we go. That just comes off. That just comes off. And then this is the tricky part right here. There we go. And there's the pad. Amazon just sells this part, but it's more expensive than this complete set here, than this pad itself. Just this part right here costs $12 on Amazon. Like I said, I bought this whole thing for $6. So, okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we gotta get underneath here. So, there we go. Okay, so I made a hole. So this is the plan. This is what we're gonna do. I'm going to put the coils on the top of here instead of the bottom. Drilling the hole, I was able to verify that the plastic in between right here is just too thick for it to make proper contact with the phone. So I'm just gonna put the coil on the top, run the board to the bottom and paste the board on the bottom, and keep the coils on the top, and put this rubber mat back on it, and bada bing bada boom. So let's go ahead and just desolder this. Alright, so desoldered the board. Just gonna pop the wires into here, resolder the board, reposition this coil, and it'll look just like that. And this will sit on top like that. And you can't even feel it. Okay, I lied, you can feel it. But I mean, you can't see it. I mean, it bulges a little bit, but who cares? It'll work. Okay, so I finished the soldering. So here's the coil. Sits on the top, and if you turn it around, I mounted the board on the bottom, ran the wires through, and re-soldered it. Alright, so our glue gun's ready. Just gonna go ahead and pick this up a little bit. Throw some glue right there, and mount it right. Make sure that's correct. Throw it down, and it charges. And even if you move the phone a little bit, it still charges. And that's how it looks with the cover back on. You can see there's a little hump right here. Is it really noticeable? Not really. Unless you're really staring at it, you're not gonna know there's a coil underneath it. So I could have mounted the coil on the bottom right here. However, it was very flaky. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it doesn't. Most times it didn't work. So that's why ultimately I went with this method, because although there's a slight bulge, at least I know that whenever I drop my phone on top of it, it's going to charge. And I know it's going to do that every single time. When the coil was mounted on the bottom, that wasn't the case. So that's why I chose to go this route, even though it's, you know, slightly noticeable if you stare at it. Alright, so now what we got to do is we got to wire this. We got to wire it up, and then we're going to plug the USB into this. First thing we got to do is pop the fuse for our 12 volt. We do not want to get electrocuted. You can either pop the fuse or disconnect your battery. Just kidding. I'm just going to disconnect the battery. Obviously, if you disconnect the battery, you don't need to pull the fuse. To get to that 12 volt wire in the back, I'm going to have to take out this. So this is the 12 volt wire I was talking about. It was plugged into the 12 volt socket right here. I am going to just tap into the 12 volt. Just going to cut the tape back a little bit. Now there is a ground wire here that you could use, but I'm not going to use the ground on here. Alright, see how easy that was? And then I'm going to go ahead and then just go ahead and solder it and tape it up with electrical tape. Here's the ground wire I was talking about that I had. Oh snap, the wire's so fragile it broke. Alright, so we're just going to put this stereo back up. Okay, now we want to connect the battery and make sure that the USB plug that I just installed comes on. Yes! We have a green light, so it's on. And here we have our modified center console. And we're just going to plug it into the USB we just wired. And voila, check it out. Comes on. Okay, and just throw our phone on to make sure it still works. Which it does. So now we can finalize the installation. So now if we take our phone, we just put it on here, You should start charging. Okay, here's that close-up of it charging. Just throw it down and it starts charging. Now, you don't have to follow this video to the T. You don't have to follow it exact. If you have a 2009 Ford Focus, then yeah, you can. Otherwise, if you have any other vehicle, remember, all vehicles are different. You're not going to find things in the same place. You're not going to find wires in the same place. It's going to be very different. So, unless you have a 2009 Ford Focus, please don't follow this video to the T. It's just meant as a guideline. There are many other ways you could have done this. For example, some people would tap into the fuse box underneath the steering wheel right here. Some people will just wire it directly to the battery in the front. There are many different ways to do this. Just be sure that you do it safely, you work safely, and make sure that you test the wire to make sure that the wire is safe to tap into, because you don't want to be tapping into any wire. Definitely do the research and make sure that you do this work safely, and then you shall be rewarded with wireless charging in your vehicle. And guess what? You didn't have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars on a premium vehicle just to get that feature. Thanks for watching. As always, if you found this video helpful, be sure to give me a thumbs up. If you didn't find it helpful at all, the thumbs down work also. Make sure to subscribe if you like videos like these. Thanks for watching again. Hope to catch you in the next one. Ugh, man, I'm hungry.